North Carolina, 1858. The river is colder than it looks. At this hour, before the sun fully rises, the water carries a quiet kind of cruelty. It slips into the skin, numbs the fingers first, then the wrists, then everything else, until movement becomes automatic. Elias has been standing in it since before dawn. He is 10 years old, and this is his job. Every morning, he wades into the Yadkin River, checking fish traps, clearing debris, searching for anything the current might have carried in overnight. Nothing is too small to matter. A broken bottle can be melted. A piece of iron can be reshaped. A plank of wood can be used again. On Mercer's plantation, waste is a kind of sin. And Elias has learned, even time is not his to waste. Up on the bank, Silas Boone watches. He always watches. He doesn't shout much. He doesn't need to. The silence he carries is heavier than a whip. It presses down until people move faster without being told. Elias feels those eyes now, so he keeps moving. Trap to trap, step by step. Water pulling at his legs, mud slipping under his feet. The routine is so familiar, it barely needs thought, which is why he almost misses it. A flicker, just beneath the surface, near a cluster of dark rocks where the current slows and curls back on itself. At first, he thinks it's glass, something broken, something useless, something not worth stopping for. But the light doesn't bounce off it. It holds. That's what makes him pause. Elias bends down. His fingers disappear into the cold water. He feels it before he sees it. Smooth, heavy, wrong in a way he can't explain. He lifts it, and for a moment, he doesn't understand what he's holding. It's too clear, too clean, too perfect, about the size of a small egg. And when the first real sunlight breaks, everything changes. Light bends inside it, not on the surface, inside, splitting into thin lines of color that move when he moves. Red, gold, a flash of blue. Elias has never seen anything like this. Not in the fields, not in the quarters, not even from a distance at the big house. Nothing in his world looks like this. He turns it slowly. The light shifts again. For a second, everything else disappears. The cold. The river. The weight of the morning. Even the man on the bank. Gone. This is the most beautiful thing he has ever seen. And for one fragile moment, it is his. What you got there, boy? The voice cuts through everything. Sharp, immediate, final. Elias's hand closes. Too late. He already knows. Too late. Silas Boone is no longer on the horse. Elias didn't hear him move, didn't hear the boots in the mud. But now, he's close. Close enough to smell leather and tobacco. Close enough that nothing can be hidden. Nothing, sir, Elias answers quickly, too quickly. Just a rock. Boone steps closer. Then show it. No anger, no raised voice. That makes it worse. Elias's mind races. He could drop it, let it sink, let the river take it back, pretend none of this happened. But Boone saw him, saw the stillness, saw the wonder, and that is something he is not allowed to have. Slowly, Elias opens his hand. The stone catches the light again, brighter. Boone says nothing. He just reaches out and takes it, like it was never Elias's to begin with. He turns it once, then again, and something in his face changes. Not wonder, not beauty, value. Where'd you find this? Right there, sir, in the shallow. Boone weighs it in his hand. He doesn't know what it is, but he knows enough. Enough to understand this is not ordinary. Enough to understand this is worth something. Maybe a lot. He closes his fist. This is mine now. Elias lowers his hand. The space in his palm feels strange, warm, even in the cold water. He says nothing, because there is nothing to say. Everything he finds belongs to Mercer. Everything he touches belongs to Mercer. Everything he is belongs to Mercer. Boone looks down at him. You hear me? Yes, sir. You find anything else like this? You bring it to me first. Not the house. Not anyone else. Me. Do that, and maybe your days get easier. Elias nods. He understands exactly what is being offered and exactly what it costs. Boone turns, walks away. The stone disappears into his coat. Elias stands in the river, water pressing against his legs. For the first time, he doesn't move, because something inside his chest feels different. Not fear, not yet. Something sharper. For a few seconds, that stone had been his, the only thing in his entire life that had ever been his. And now, it wasn't. Elias bends down, checks the next trap. Empty. Moves on. But his eyes don't search the river the same way anymore. Now he knows what might be hidden beneath the surface. And more importantly, he knows what happens when someone else sees it first. By the time Elias leaves the river, the sun has fully risen, and the cold in his bones has turned into something else. Heat. But not from the weather. He carries the empty bucket back toward the quarters. One small fish. That's all the river gave him today. Or rather, that's all he's allowed to keep. Because now, he knows the river holds more. Much more. The plantation is already alive. Field hands moving in lines. Voices low. Tools scraping against dry soil. From a distance, it looks organized. Predictable. Almost calm. But Elias knows better. There is nothing calm about a place where every movement is watched. He passes the main house. White columns, wide porch, windows catching the morning light. Everything about it says power. Everything about it says ownership. And somewhere inside, men like Mercer sit at tables, talking about profit. talking about land, talking about things they believe belong to them, including whatever comes out of that river. Elias lowers his eyes as he walks past, not because he wants to, because he has to. Looking too long can be taken the wrong way. Walking too slow can be taken the wrong way. Even breathing wrong can be taken the wrong way. By the time he reaches the quarters, his mother is already outside, waiting. She sees his face, the tension in his shoulders, the way his hands don't quite rest. She doesn't ask immediately. She just takes the bucket, looks inside. One fish. She nods. That's enough for now. Then quietly, "What happened?" Elias hesitates, looks around. Always, you look around first. No overseer, no house servants nearby, no one close enough to hear. Still, he lowers his voice. "I found something." His mother freezes, just slightly, but enough. "What kind of something?" Elias swallows. "Like a stone. Clear. Shining." Her eyes sharpen instantly. Not wonder, not curiosity. Fear. "And where is it now?" Elias doesn't answer right away. He doesn't need to. She already knows. He saw it. Elias nods. He took it. Another nod. Silence. His mother exhales slowly, like she was holding something in, something heavy. Then forget it. Elias blinks. Blinks. "That's all?" She steps closer. Her voice drops even lower. "You hear me? Forget it. That wasn't yours. It was never going to be yours. And thinking it was? That's how boys get hurt." Elias looks down at his hands, still remembering the weight, still remembering the light. For a second, he stops, doesn't finish. His mother softens, just a little. She knows that feeling. Everyone here does. "Yeah, for a second." She places a hand on his shoulder. "But seconds don't matter here. Only what lasts. And nothing lasts unless they let it." Elias nods slowly. He understands the words, but something inside him doesn't accept them. That afternoon, Silas Boone rides into town. Not fast, not urgent, but there's something different in the way he sits the horse. More alert, more focused. Because in his pocket, wrapped in cloth, is something that might change everything. The town is small. Dust roads, wooden storefronts, a few wagons, men talking low. Boone doesn't stop to greet anyone, doesn't waste time. He heads straight for a narrow shop near the edge of town. No sign out front, just a faded window and a locked door. He knocks once, then again. A voice from inside. "Closed." Boone doesn't move. "It's me." A pause. Then the lock clicks. Inside, the air smells like metal and dust. Shelves lined with small boxes, scales, tools, and behind the counter, a man who doesn't smile. He looks at Boone, then at the door, then back again. What is it? Boone steps forward, reaches into his coat, and places the stone on the counter. For a moment, nothing happens. Then the man's eyes change. Just slightly, but enough. He picks it up, turns it, holds it to the light. Long silence. Where did you get this? Boone leans on the counter. Does it matter? The man studies him, then looks back at the stone. Yes, it does. Because now, this isn't just a rock anymore. This is money. This is risk. This is something people kill for. The man doesn't answer right away. He keeps turning the stone in his fingers, watching how the light bends inside it. Then he reaches under the counter, pulls out a small lens, brings it to his eye. Silence fills the room. Boone waits, trying not to look impatient, trying not to look desperate, because he already knows. This isn't ordinary. The man finally lowers the lens, sets the stone down carefully. When he speaks, his voice is quieter, more careful. This is a diamond. Boone doesn't move, doesn't react, but inside, something drops. Heavy. A big one? The man lets out a slow breath. Not just big. He taps the stone lightly. Rare. He looks Boone in the eye now. For something like this, uncut, this clear, you're looking at $5,000. The number hangs in the air. Heavy. Unreal. 5,000. That's land. That's a house. That's a life, without taking orders from anyone. Boone swallows. His mind is already racing, calculating, planning. How fast can you sell it? The man leans back, eyes still on Boone. Not fast. This isn't something you hand to the first buyer who walks in. This kind of stone, it needs the right hands, the right silence. Boone frowns. How long? A few months, maybe less, if I find the right man in New York. Boone exhales slowly. Months. He doesn't like that, but he doesn't have a choice. And my money? The man smiles faintly. You'll get it, minus my share. What share? 20%. Boone's jaw tightens, but again, no choice. Fine, but no one hears about this, especially not Mercer. The man nods once. Of course. Secrets are what I sell. Boone leaves the shop, but he's not walking the same way he came in. There's a lightness to him now, a dangerous kind, because for the first time in his life, he can see a way out, a way to leave the plantation, leave the work, leave the rules, leave everything. And he doesn't think once about the boy who found it. To Boone, Elias was just a tool, a pair of hands, a coincidence. You don't share treasure with the thing that dug it up. Weeks pass. The river keeps moving, just like always. And Elias keeps going back into it every morning before sunrise. At first, Nothing changes. Same traps, same cold water, same empty buckets. But Elias is different now. He doesn't just look anymore. He studies. Where the current slows, where debris gathers, where heavier things settle. He remembers exactly where he found the first stone. Every detail, every angle of light. And he goes back there, again, and again, and again. Until one morning, his foot hits something. Not wood, not rock. Something different. He freezes, heart pounding. Slowly, he bends down, slides his hand into the water, and lifts. Another one. Smaller than the first, but the same. Clear, heavy, alive with light. Elias looks around instantly. No horse, no boots on the bank, no eyes watching. Just the river. And him. This time, he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't call out. He doesn't move toward the shore. He closes his fist and keeps it closed. For the first time in his life, he is holding something that no one else knows about. Something that might be his. Not for a second, not by accident, but because he chose it. He slips it into his shirt, right against his skin, and just like that, everything changes. Because now, this isn't just about survival anymore. This is about choice. This is about risk. This is about taking something back. Secrets don't stay buried. Not on a plantation. Not where eyes are everywhere. Not where survival depends on noticing things. Days pass, then weeks. Elias keeps searching, keeps hiding, keeps pretending nothing has changed. But under the floor, beneath a loose board, his world is growing. One stone, then two, then four. Each one wrapped carefully, each one hidden deeper, each one a secret. He doesn't know what he'll do with them, doesn't know how to sell them, doesn't even know if he'll ever get the chance. But he knows one thing. They won't be taken again. His sister notices first. Children always do. They see patterns. They see changes. Grace watches him, sees the way he checks the floor, sees the way his hand closes when he comes back from the river. She doesn't understand. She's not supposed to. But curiosity doesn't ask permission. One afternoon, when Elias is at the river, she lifts the loose board, finds the cloth bundle, opens it. Light spills out, tiny flashes shimmering in the dark. To her, they're just pretty stones. So she takes one, small, smooth, perfect. She runs outside, holding it up to the sun, watching colors dance across her fingers. She laughs, and that's when he sees her. Silas Boone is riding past the quarters, not looking for anything, not expecting anything, but the light catches his eye. That same light, the one he hasn't stopped thinking about. He pulls the reins. Horse stops. Girl, come here. Grace freezes. The laughter dies instantly. She walks toward him slowly, hand still open, stone still shining. Boone leans down, eyes locked on it. What's that? Just a rock, sir. My brother found it. Silence. Something cold moves behind Boone's eyes. Your brother? Grace nods. He finds lots of pretty things. That's all it takes. Boone dismounts. Boots hitting dirt. Slow. Controlled. He takes the stone from her hand. Examines it. No doubt. No hesitation. Another diamond. Show me. Grace doesn't understand. She just turns and walks. Right to the cabin. Right to the floorboard. To the floorboard. She lifts it. And Boone sees everything. 4 more stones. Wrapped. Hidden. His breath changes. Faster now. Heavier. Because this isn't luck anymore. This is a vein. A source. A fortune. And Elias has been keeping it from him. Boone's face tightens. Not just anger. Worse than that. Pride. Wounded. A child outsmarted him. He wraps the stones, shoves them into his coat, then grabs Grace by the arm. Hard. Where is he? At the river. Her voice shakes now. She understands. Too late. Elias sees them coming, from far down the bank. Horse. Dust. His sister running beside it. And something inside him drops. He knows, before a word is said. He knows. Boone doesn't slow down. He rides straight to the edge, jumps off, and hits him. Hard. Across the face. Elias goes down. Water splashes. Blood in his mouth. You think you're clever? Boone's voice shakes. You think you can hide from me? Elias says nothing. He can't. You've been stealing. From me. The words hang. Twisted. Wrong. But here, truth doesn't matter. Only power does. Boone kicks him. Ribs. Again. Grace screams. Begging. Crying. Elias curls inward, protecting what he can. You know what happens to thieves? He does. Everyone does. Hands cut. Bodies broken. Families separated. Or worse. Boone stops, breathing hard, thinking, calculating. Because now, there's a problem. A big one. Elias knows about the first stone, knows about the sale, knows too much. And people who know too much don't last long. Boone leans down, voice quiet now, deadly quiet. You're going to have an accident. Elias freezes. You'll slip. Hit your head. River takes you. Sad thing, but it happens. Grace screams louder. No, please. Boone looks at her, and for a moment, something shifts. Now there are 2 problems, not 1. And then, hooves. More than 1. Boone turns. Mercer, riding toward them, with guests, watching. Watching. Everything changes. Mercer sees everything. The blood, the fear, the way Boone is standing over the boy. He reins his horse in slowly, guests beside him, watching, judging. What's going on here? Boone straightens immediately, voice controlled now, polished. Boy was stealing, sir, administering discipline. Mercer doesn't answer right away. His eyes move from Boone to Elias to Grace. Something doesn't sit right, not with witnesses watching, not with money always in his mind. What did he steal? Boone hesitates, just a fraction too long. Food, sir. One of the guests scoffs quietly. That much violence for bread? Mercer's expression tightens, not from morality, from embarrassment. This makes him look careless, uncontrolled, and Mercer does not like looking weak. Enough. Take the boy back. We'll deal with it later. Boone freezes, just for a second, because later means witnesses are gone, means silence returns. But he has no choice. Yes, sir. He grabs Elias, pulls him up, drags him away. And as they walk, he leans in close, voice like ice. This ain't over. You talk, I end you. Your sister, your mother, all of you. Elias says nothing, but inside, something has changed. Not fear, not anymore. Calculation. That night, he doesn't sleep. Pain in his ribs, blood dried on his skin, and under his shirt, nothing. The stones are gone. Again. But this time, he knows something else. Boone is afraid. Because Boone stole first. Because Boone has something to lose. Because Boone is hiding from the one man who owns everything. His mother sits beside him, quiet, thinking. You can't run, she whispers. He'll find you. Elias nods. He already knows. You can't fight him. He'll kill you. Another nod. Silence. Then she says it, soft, sharp. Then you make him fall. Elias looks at her. Mercer don't care about you. He don't care about me. He don't care about none of us. But he care about money. And if Boone been stealing from him, that's the one thing he won't forgive. The idea lands, heavy. Elias sees a path. Not to freedom, but to survival. The next morning, he walks to the main house. Alone. Injured. Shaking. But he walks anyway. Back door. Knock. A servant opens, surprised. I need to see Master Mercer. Minutes later, Mercer stands in front of him. Cold eyes. Impatient. This better be important. Elias swallows, then says it. He took something from your land, something worth money, a lot of it. Silence. Mercer's eyes sharpen. What are you talking about? And Elias, for the first time, tells the truth. About the first stone, about the sale, about the threats, about everything. He expects disbelief, punishment, pain. Instead, Mercer smiles. Not kindly, not warmly. Greed. Within an hour, Boone is dragged in, confronted, cornered. And when Mercer mentions Charleston, mentions the merchant, mentions records, Boone breaks. Everything spills out. The theft, the money, the lies. And just like that, power shifts. Boone is finished, removed, destroyed. Not because of cruelty, not because of justice, because he stole from the wrong man. Mercer turns back to Elias, studies him. You found them? Yes, sir. Mercer nods slowly. Then you'll keep finding them. And there it is. Not freedom, not reward. Just a different kind of chain. Better food, more responsibility, closer watch. But still, a chain. Months pass, then years. Elias becomes something rare. Not free, but valuable. He finds more stones, dozens, each one making Mercer richer, each one tying Elias tighter. Because now, he isn't just a boy. He's an asset, a source, a secret. And valuable things don't get lost. But something else grows, quiet, patient. The same thing that started the moment that first stone touched his hand. Not hope, not yet, but defiance. Because Elias learned something that Boone never did, and Mercer never will. The value of a thing isn't what it's worth to them. And one day, whether it takes one stone, or 10, or a lifetime, he will use it. Not to get rich, not to please them, but to leave. Because nothing, not even a diamond, is worth more than that.